Hello, everyone, and welcome back to ConvoEase. I'm Emma, and I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. We have a massive, game-changing episode lined up for you.
And I'm Alex. We're diving into something that everyone, and I mean everyone, needs to master. It's that one question that can make even the most confident person's palms sweat. Tell me about yourself.
Exactly, Alex. Whether it's a job interview, a new hobby group, or even a massive convention in front of thousands of people, knowing how to introduce yourself properly is vital. Today, we are going to give you the ultimate guide to crafting a complete self-introduction that you can learn by heart.
I'll be honest, Emma, I still get nervous introducing myself to large groups. It's intimidating. But as we've learned from the experts, the secret is preparation. You have to have it pre-written.
Precisely. So let's jump right in. The very first thing you need is a greeting. This sets the entire tone. Now, are we going formal or informal?
Well, if I'm at a job interview, I'm probably not saying, yo, what's good?
Definitely not. For formal situations, you have the classics. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Just be careful with the time of day. Don't say good morning when the sun is going down.
And what about good day? I've seen that in our comment section.
Interesting point. In British English, good day is actually very old-fashioned and rarely used. However, if you're in Australia, they shorten it to "g'day," which is much more common, but definitely more informal.
Okay, so if I'm hanging out with friends or in a casual English class, I can use hey, hi, or even hiya. Just make sure you pick one that feels natural to you. If yo doesn't suit your personality or region, don't force it, or you'll just feel silly.
Great advice. Once you've greeted them, you need to state your name. In most cases, a simple I'm or I am works perfectly. If you're on the phone where people can't see you, you might say, my name is, or this is Lucy. Well, in our case, this is Emma.
And if you're standing on a big stage in a convention center, this is Alex also sounds very professional.
Now, let's talk about location. This is where you tell people where you're from and where you're living now. You can start basic. I'm from, followed by your city, or I'm followed by your nationality, like I'm British.
What if I've moved around a lot?
There are specific phrases for that. If you want to imply you've made a long journey, use I come from. If you want to specify where you grew up versus where you are now, you can say I was born and raised in England, or I grew up in LA but now live in New York.
I like that. It tells a bit of a story. You could even say I'm originally from Edinburgh but I'm now based in London. Or if you've been there a while, I've been living in London for 3 years.
Exactly. Now, let's move to the meat of the introduction for many situations, your position and company. When talking about your job, remember the prepositions. You work at or for a company, not in a company. For example, I work at Google in the marketing department.
So I could say I'm a manager at Starbucks, or I work as an accountant.
Yes, and if you just want to describe the general field, then you can use in, like I work in sales.
What about students or recent grads?
If you're about to finish school, say I'm about to graduate. If you already have your degree, you can say I'm a marketing graduate, or I have a BA in marketing. In more informal settings, you can even shorten postgraduate to postgrad.
I've also seen people mention specific courses.
Yes, and here's a tip from the learning materials on prepositions again. You take a course in something theoretical, like maths, but a course on something practical, like pottery. You could also just say, I'm taking a pottery course, and skip the preposition entirely.
And don't forget to mention experience. If you've been in the game for a while, say, I have 10 years of experience in sales, or I've worked in the accounting field for 3 years.
Now, Alex, let's get a bit more personal for those informal get-to-know-you sessions. Let's talk about family. There is one mistake I hear all the time. People say, we are 5 in our family.
That's not right in English, is it?
Not quite. Instead, you should say, I'm from a family of 5, or we are a family of 5. If you want to mention siblings without specifying gender, just say, I am one of 4 siblings. And if you have no brothers or sisters, you are an only child.
Hobbies are also a great way to connect. I usually just say I like running.
That's fine, but let's level it up. Try, I'm a big fan of go-karting, or I'm a keen runner. It shows a bit more passion.
And what about the awkward question of age?
You can be direct, I'm 25. But if you want to be a bit more vague, you can say, I'm in my mid-20s, or he's a 30-something accountant. It's a great way to avoid being too specific if you don't want to be.
Okay, Emma, we've covered a lot, but what about the part I hate the most, the fun fact?
Oh, the dreaded fun fact. It can be so daunting to think of something interesting on the spot. That's why you should always have one up your sleeve, ready to go. Think of a weird fear, a strange achievement, or even a pet.
Like the host in the research study who can dislocate her shoulder blade.
Exactly. Maybe don't do that every time, but it definitely makes you memorable.
So once we have all these pieces, greeting, name, location, job, family, hobbies, age, and a fun fact, how do we make it sound natural?
This is the most important step. If you just say a bunch of short sentences, it sounds like a robot. You need to condense them. Instead of 7 short sentences, try to flow them into 2 or 3. Like this. Good morning, everyone. My name's Alex, and I'm a 25-year-old marketing graduate from London. I now work as a co-host here at ConvoEase, and I'm a big fan of fitness and running. Perfect. That sounds so much more natural and professional. You haven't removed any info, you've just made it flow.
Wow, I actually feel much more prepared now.
That's the goal. We want all of you in the ConvoEase community to feel confident. We encourage you to share your own introductions and even your fun facts in the comments below. We'll be looking through them and maybe even offering some feedback.
All right. Don't forget to connect with us on all our social media platforms to stay updated with more tips.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Practice your introduction, learn it by heart, and you'll never fear that "tell me about yourself" question again.
All right. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this episode, hit that like button, subscribe to ConvoEase, and turn on notifications so you never miss a tip. Share your introductions in the comments. We love reading them and sometimes feature them in our next episode.
Before we wrap up, Alex, I think there's one more really important thing we should talk about: confidence. Because even if you have the perfect introduction written, it won't land well if you don't sound confident when you say it.
That's such a good point. You can have all the right words, but if you're speaking too quietly, rushing, or sounding unsure, people won't fully connect with what you're saying.
Exactly. Confidence isn't about being loud or dramatic. It's about clarity. Speak clearly, take small pauses, and don't be afraid of silence. A short pause can actually make you sound more thoughtful and professional.
I used to think pauses were awkward, but now I see them as powerful. They give you a moment to breathe and help the listener keep up.
Another thing that really helps is posture. Even if no one can see you, like on a phone call, standing or sitting up straight can completely change how your voice sounds.
That's true. And let's not forget eye contact for in-person introductions. You don't need to stare, but looking at people while you speak makes you seem more trustworthy and engaged.
Actually, Alex, I've noticed that people often forget to breathe during their intro.
Oh, I do that all the time. I hold my breath because I'm so focused on the next word.
Exactly. But if you take a deep breath before you start, your voice will sound much more grounded and steady.
That makes sense. It's like giving your brain a quick oxygen boost before the big moment.
Right. And another trick is the power pose. Stand tall for 2 minutes before the interview to boost your confidence.
I've heard about that. It's all about how your body chemistry reacts to your physical position.
Precisely. Now, what about the ending? How do you finish an introduction?
Usually, I just trail off awkwardly and say, yeah, that's it.
We've all been there. Instead, try a strong closing, like, "I'm really excited to be here today," or "I'm looking forward to learning more about this group."
That sounds much more intentional. It shows you're ready to engage, not just finish talking.
Exactly. It hands the conversation back to the other person smoothly.
What if you're in a networking event with hundreds of people? Do you use the same long intro?
Good question. In that case, use the elevator pitch version. Keep it under 30 seconds.
So just the name, current role, and maybe one interesting goal?
Spot on. You want to leave them curious so they ask you follow-up questions.
It's like a movie trailer. Give them enough to be interested, but don't tell the whole story yet.
I love that comparison. It's all about creating a connection, not just delivering data.
And remember, everyone else is probably just as nervous as you are.
Very true. We're all human, and people generally want you to succeed.
That's a great mindset to have. It takes the pressure off.
And here's something a lot of people overlook. Practice out loud. Reading your introduction silently isn't enough. You need to hear yourself say it.
Yes, say it in front of a mirror, record yourself on your phone, or practice with a friend. The more familiar it feels, the less nervous you'll be.
Also, don't aim for perfection. Small mistakes are totally normal. If you mess up a word, just keep going. Most people won't even notice.
And honestly, those little imperfections can make you sound more human and more relatable.
One last tip. Adjust your introduction based on the situation. You don't need to share everything every time. In a formal setting, keep it professional. In a casual setting, you can relax and be more personal.
Right. Think of your introduction like a toolbox. You choose the right tools for the right moment.
I love that analogy. At the end of the day, an introduction is just the start of a conversation, not a performance you have to survive.
Exactly. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
So remember, prepare your introduction, practice it out loud, and deliver it with calm confidence.
And next time someone says, "So, tell me about yourself," you'll be ready.
That's what we want for all of you. Confidence, clarity, and connection.
We'll see you soon for another lesson. Bye for now.
Bye. See you next time.